fight. I just finished watching it. I'm gonna wait a few moments to see if a couple people come in here. If you're coming in here post live, maybe just kind of browse through maybe another 4 or 5 minutes or so. Just want to get the notifications out there. Don't have too much time. I just am really blown away right now, to be honest. Uh, I didn't well, I didn't at all actually speak about this fight, the pre-fight antics and all the drama leading up to it. I was definitely paying attention to it and definitely felt just I don't know, like confused in the sense of like, is this real? Is it part of the fight buildup? Is this Ryan's new persona? Like there were just so many questions that were in my head. I think originally when he first started acting out, I think I might have made a live stream talking about it, talking about how he's just kind of looking silly. But look, with that being said, I mean, obviously the fight buildup was crazy. Whether you agree with Ryan's antics or not and his behavior, I mean, it sold the fight. I mean, it got me to watch the fight, and I don't watch boxing as much as I used to. And just watching all the shit that Ryan was doing, it pulled me into it, reeled me in, because I'm thinking like either he is so confident that he's going to go in there and really perform, or it's going to be a shit show and Devin's going to destroy him, right? I knew, well, I didn't expect actually the scorecard that we got tonight, and I didn't expect it would go 12. If it did go 12, I thought Devin Haney would just dominate, and obviously that wasn't the case tonight. But what I wanted to do is, what's up, Razor and Raja? I see you in the building, bro. So what I want to do is just I want to give you guys my thoughts about what I saw in the fight, the actual fight breakdown, all antics and chaos put to the side. Perhaps I'll make another video about that, talking more in depth about that. But let's just talk about the fight and give you guys my opinion. Some key points here. First off, I'm a little bit disappointed with Ryan missing the weight. That's just not professional. I understand the tactic behind it. Obviously, he wasn't chasing the belt. He just wanted to beat Devin Haney. That's it. Um, I think it's more than fair, obviously, that although he won the fight tonight, Devin Haney gets to keep the belt. That's fair, man. Like if you don't make weight, you don't deserve to take the belt home. But I was just disappointed as a boxing fan to see him not make weight. It's just something that you don't want to see because now it leaves room for speculation. Right now, there's an adrenaline rush. Everyone's kind of shocked. But in the coming days, it's going to be a huge talking point. I promise you guys this. It's going to be huge. People are going to be talking about how he was bigger, weighed more, didn't make weight, and if he came in at 140, it would have been a different fight, this, that, and whatever. So I want to point that out. Rather, the weight was a factor or not, it's just a disappointment to have this kind of cloud lingering above the result of this fight. Now, looking at the fight itself, one thing that stood out to me right away was I think we all expected Ryan to jump out early. Nobody was really surprised about that. Devin should have been well prepared for that. And I think he was. You can tell that he put the work in training camp. You can tell that he was cautious of the left hook. You can tell that he was prepared for Ryan to jump out on him. But one thing that I saw that bothered Devin Haney very early was Ryan's reach, his length. And once Ryan kind of figured out that he can pinpoint his shots, I mean, if you look at the punching statistics, like he didn't like jab like ever. I think one round he had like 4 jabs in a whole round, right? Like his whole goal was to land a big shot on Devin, and he didn't care about working his way in. He was masquerading the shoulder roll, putting up the high guard, and he was basically just trying to catch and then just shoot. right? He's trying to roll with it and use his range from distance. Because of the range factor, Devin had to step in more to try to, get the jab in or go to the body or try to put a combination together. So Ryan just had to kind of roll with it because he knows that Devin has to be the one to cover that distance. So he just kind of roll with the high guard or the shoulder and then just come back with something. And I think it was in the first round when he knocked him down, it was just that kind of lean back, boom, left hook, right? He just kind of leaned and boom and caught him. And I think just the range really shocked Devin. Um, the speed, I think, was definitely a factor. But if I had to choose one thing that really offset Devin and he couldn't make the adjustment, was the range and the distance and trying to figure out a way to work around that. And yeah, it's almost like Ryan knew exactly what he had to do. We have to remind ourselves sometimes that these guys like faced off in the ring 6 times. That's not something to just like sniff at, right? Nothing to just be like, oh, that was the amateurs. No, that makes a huge difference. And Ryan knew that up in this weight class, right, at 140, because when they fought in the amateurs, they were both much smaller. It's a much, it's amateurs, right? It's a much different type of fight. But coming up into 140, Ryan knows bigger, he's longer, he knows he has more power, and he didn't need to go in there and try to win a boxing match, right? And and I could also see how Devin obviously did not prepare himself mentally to be knocked down like that and also hurt the way he was hurt. I mean, I think that he thought that he was going to go in there and just outpoint Ryan with speed and accuracy and cruise to a decision or perhaps try to get Ryan to just quit on his stool. That's what everybody was talking about. And I unfortunately think Devin bought into that too much instead of actually thinking to himself, man, this actually might be a fight. Like, if you look at it, with all the craziness that Ryan was doing, making it seem as if he is unstable, like he's unstable or he's not focused. People were talking about his conditioning. People were talking about so much shit. And I don't know, man. Like, Devin might have bought into that. And as the fight went on, I was actually thinking, like, Ryan actually might, burn himself out. Like, is he going to get tired? Because he was throwing hellacious punches. Hellacious punch. He was trying to knock out Devin with almost every punch. I would say, like, 6 out of 10 punches were power punches. Like, he was trying to hurt Devin every single time. Um, and no more champagne was good. Teach, I see you. Moped in the building. I see you. What's up? Yeah, I'm still around, man. I'm always lurking nowadays. I'm lurking. I watched the fight, wanted to go live, but you just couldn't get everything fired up in time. I literally barely made it in for the first round. Um, and right at that first round, he landed that left hook. I'm like, oh shit. But then I wasn't too worried though. I was like, hey, this shit happens. Early in the fight, Devin can cover, and he did. That second knockdown, though, that was some crazy shit. I think it was the second knockdown where Devin got knocked down. He barely got up. Like, his legs were shaking at the count of 8. But give him credit. He's a warrior. He's a true champion. A lot of other guys would have just said, nah, man, it's too much, and wouldn't have got up. He did. But there was some weird, like, breakage in time with the ref. I felt like he gave Devin a little bit too much time. That's my opinion. I feel like Devin went down. He put Ryan into the neutral corner. Ryan was there. Devin got up, got to the 8 count, wiped his gloves off, and he kind of stepped back out of the way, to continue the fight. And I don't remember if he looked at the timekeeper or not, but he made that gesture to step back out of the way. Ryan's obviously trying to jump on his ass. He pushed Ryan away again, and kind of pushed Devin away again, and just that kind of 3 or 4 seconds made a huge difference, I think, for the recovery. And then later on was the punch on the break, which, was the point deduction, which is fine. Ryan was frustrated because he's trying to get Devin out of there. And he did punch on the break. As if you're a Ryan fan, you're thinking, oh, that's bullshit. Well, I mean, bro, like, you got to be disciplined in that situation. I know you're trying to get him out of there, but it's always a dangerous situation for a referee. If a referee's engaged and trying to break and you're throwing punches, like, a referee ain't trying to get hit as well. You got to take that in consideration, and that happens, right? So he's trying to do his job, make a break, and if you're punching, a lot of times they're not going to tolerate that because they ain't trying to get punched. So you got to keep that in mind. So, but with that point reduction, that saved Devin from being knocked out in this fight. 100%. If that point deduction didn't happen, because that's like another 10 seconds, and for these elite fighters, that's an eternity to recover, right? 10 seconds is like a couple big, deep breaths, and they can survive. So I think Devin would have got knocked out tonight if Ryan would have been able to control himself and not get that point deduction. But I think once they got into like round 8, 9, 10, Ryan knew that he's going to win that fight. You can see the confidence, especially that third knockdown. Ryan was like, yeah, like there's no coming back from that. He knew he lost rounds. He knew he probably lost 4 or 5 rounds on points, maybe even 6 rounds, but it didn't matter because of the knockdowns. Yeah, man, I just feel like it's not like Ryan had a superior game plan than Devin. It's just that Ryan just kind of knew his physical attributes. He knew, basically he thought to himself, I'm going to use my strength, I'm going to use my size, I'm going to use my length, and I'm going to try to knock his ass out. I'm going to force him to take my abilities away or take my advantages away. And Devin really couldn't. Another factor in this fight, Devin just didn't have enough power to keep Ryan off of him, right? And he hit Ryan with some good clean shots tonight. Whatever round that was, like round 2 or 3, he caught Ryan flush. And Ryan kind of wobbled back and started smiling at Devin. And so I think in the amateurs, they've always been, the same size of a fighter and whatnot. But I think as, growing into their adult body, Ryan is just bigger, and 100% the length, as in the arm and height and weight and just the bone structure and the way Ryan is built. And he's not just like a slow, long, lanky kind of volume puncher. I mean, he's got length and he's got speed and he's got power, right? And it's crazy how when you look at this fight, right, and you realize what Tank was able to do to Ryan, it kind of makes you wonder about Tank. Like, I don't know if Tank will be able to beat Ryan at like 140 though, to be honest. I don't know, man. And the crazy thing is that Ryan, this whole fight build-up, like, brought out like a Mike Tyson type persona and kind of became the villain, and now has adopted this image of like, now we want to see the villain get beat, but who's going to be the person to beat him, especially at 140. So, he's not like super well polished and does a shock and awe as far as like boxing IQ and whatnot, but he can land something big. He's knocked down pretty much every fighter that he's faced. If not knocked him down, he knocked him out. And that left hook, man, is no joke. I mean, he knows how to kind of like just turn his body into that, and he's got that long arm as well. And it's tricky to see when you think that you're out of that distance, right? And you're punching with the right hand, or you're throwing your own left hook at the same time, and that right hand just drops a little bit. Ryan he's perfected over his career to kind of just, basically he sees it and he just powers up and kind of just, puts his whole body behind it. And he's willing to let that right hand come at him as he's throwing that left hook. And he got Devin Haney twice with that. Sneaky uppercuts. Ryan was throwing, he threw a couple sneaky uppercuts. And, we got to be honest, post fight, Ryan really didn't have any damage on him. Devin was pretty beat up. And, it is what it is. What's up, Jerome? Moped, what's up? Oh, Tay D, what's up, bro? For those of you who used to, what's up, G5? For those of you who've been following me, obviously I was active a couple of years ago. I've always been so high of Devin Haney, man. I've always enjoyed his skill set, what he brings to boxing. I've even made videos about, he can be the next Mayweather. Just the way he trains, how disciplined he is. One thing that is not in question tonight is his heart, and he was in phenomenal shape to be able to get off the canvas 3 fucking times, man. Getting off the canvas 3 times, and he was very hurt. So, you got to give Devin the credit as a champion. Never quit and was in a bad place. And, having to get up like that, not everybody's going to fight through that. You know what I'm saying? On the flip side of that, I've been saying it since 2000 and 14, 15, well, I've been saying it since 2000, probably 9 or 10, in the span of 10 years probably from that time, that Mayweather, this is why Mayweather is one of the greatest of all time, man. What I actually had flashbacks for a moment when Ryan knocked down Devin in that first round. First thing that came to my head was Mayweather Mosley. Right? We know that Mosley was a way stronger puncher than Mayweather. We know that he's, big and strong, and we knew that he can land that big punch. We've seen Mosley do that many times in his career before his decline, and he almost dropped Mayweather, right? The separation here is Mayweather not only recovered from taking that big shot against Mosley, but he came back and just started beating that ass. And Devin just couldn't do that tonight. And either you say, well, it's a different type of fighter, or you can say it's a different type of fight, or Ryan is bigger than what Mosley was. He punches harder than Mosley did. Did he, though? Is Ryan a better puncher than Mosley? Maybe at that time, because Mosley was in his, mid to late 30s. Possible, but Mosley at that time, coming off of beating Margarito's ass, was no slouch. And we knew going into the fight that Mosley had a puncher's chance, just like we knew Ryan had a puncher's chance against Devin Haney. The difference is Mayweather, that's why I've always said for so long that we can say whatever we want about Mayweather, but tonight was another indication that if Devin Haney was the next Mayweather in the sense of abilities and skill and IQ and, being really systematic, we saw him dismantle Kambosos, and we're like, yeah, that's like fucking Mayweather Gotti, right? Everyone was talking about that. I even talked about that. So I feel like we have to give credit where credit is due. And sometimes in boxing, we get these realizations. Yeah, Christian. Yeah, Ryan definitely has his own style for sure. What's up, Capital? I appreciate the compliment. Mosley rocked Floyd, but Mosley was old at the time. He gassed out quick. Young Ryan was able to throw bombs to the final bell. He was, but yeah, age definitely played a factor, bro. Age definitely played a factor. I'm not saying that Mosley and Ryan is like a complete replica of each other. I'm just saying that I didn't see Devin Haney be able to make a big adjustment, because whatever round that was that Mosley hurt Mayweather was like second round or maybe third, I don't remember. The next round after that, Mosley's still fresh, right? It's not like he gassed himself out. He gassed himself out 2 or 3 or 4 rounds after that, and Mayweather just put his foot on the gas, right? But he's still alive that next round, and Mayweather clearly came out that next round and just started. He just started fucking raking Mosley. I didn't see that from Devin, you know, and it wasn't a lack of effort. It wasn't like he didn't try to like get back into the fight after being knocked down, but he just wasn't able to do it, you know. And it's not like Ryan is a volume puncher. It's not like Ryan's going to stand toe to toe and fight in the pocket. You know, Ryan was moving a lot today. He was conserving his energy. He would throw bombs, and then he would backpedal, and he'd move around, and he'd go high guard, and he'd go shoulder roll, and then they're tying each other up. There was a couple rounds he hardly threw any punches. Ryan, I'm talking about Ryan. Devin was pressing. Devin was trying to go jab, jab at the body, trying to get his points in, and he won those rounds because Ryan clearly took those rounds off. But I think it's a thing of, it's always in the back of his mind. I got to keep enough in the tank to try to knock his ass out later in the fight. And when he got that third knockdown, that was a clear indication of that. He still had enough gas in the tank to generate that power to put Devin down that third time. So to me, that's what I saw from Ryan. Pretty clean cut and dry, no special effects as far as the planning is concerned. I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm longer. He thinks he can get past my left hook. He knows about my left hook. He's going to have to prove it, though. At the professional ranks, at 140, he's going to have to prove to the world that he can take my left hook. And I'm going to throw it as hard as I fucking can. And let's see what happens. That was Ryan's plan. And he landed it. And he hurt Devin. And that's it. He also followed up his left hook with the right hand, too. I think it was the second knockdown. Right hand, left hook. Right? And that reach shocked Devin. Devin was trying to lean back away from it, but that reach just got him, set him up with the right hand. Somehow that right hand dropped when the right hand landed, and he just followed up. Boom, left hook. Down goes Haney, right? So Ryan had his simple little plan, and he stuck to it. And the only little extension of his simple plan was, if I can't get him out of there, like if I can't knock him out, then I'm going to take rounds off to recover. Devin, here's another thing. He knew Devin couldn't hurt him. He wasn't scared of Devin hurting him at all, right? He was worried about Tank hurting him, and then he took that body shot. And he's it's like he knew he couldn't continue that fight. Rather he was weight drained or the power was too much or whatever the case was against Tank, he quit because he knew, I won't be able to have the power that I need to knock out Tank. But with Haney, he knew that Haney couldn't hurt him. And so that also led into this. So if you're Haney, if they have a rematch, what adjustments does Haney need to do? Fuck trying to hurt Ryan. Ryan's too big, man. He's too big. He's too a little bit manic, right? He's also manic as fuck. Like you hit him and he's like, ah. He's like, yeah. He's like going crazy, and it gives him energy. So why put all of that energy to try to hurt him? Devin Haney needs to go back to being Devin Haney. And sit in a comfortable boxing position, work up and down, in and out, jab, stick, and move, right hand down the pipe, right hand to the solar plexus, roll out, boom, boom, boom. Let Ryan chase you around because you're fit, you're in your prime, and you can go in there like Pernell Whitaker, Mayweather, and just collect points. Look at Mayweather versus Canelo, right? Mayweather versus Canelo is a good example on how Devin Haney needs to fight Ryan, where Canelo's looking for big shots. Canelo's looking to load up on the left hook to the body or head, corner Mayweather, and Mayweather just didn't let it happen, right? And he just kept systematically outworking Canelo and got the decision. And I think that's what Devin needs to do. For some reason, he was too caught up with all the antics, in my opinion, he said it didn't bother him, but I think it did. I think it got to him, and he was determined to try to hurt Ryan and knock him out. And I think he just needs to be disciplined and stick to his game plan and just go out there and box. Do what he's always done. Make Ryan come to you. Make Ryan try to chase you down, and stick and move. You know, two, three punches, pop, 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 in and out, pop, 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 in and out. And if you think Ryan's trying to set his feet and get off, tie his ass up. You know, until the ref fucking warns you or takes a point. That's how you handle a bigger, stronger, taller man who's not just big and strong but also fast. And you know from the first fight that he can hurt you. So that would be my advice for him in the second fight, because you know Ryan ain't gonna change shit in the second fight. Why should he? You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it for Ryan. So it all comes down to Haney and how he makes adjustments. What's up, Kaz? Yeah, yeah. Not sure what to think about this match. Garcia won, but he had a weight advantage. We'll see if we can get the rematch. Blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And if they do the rematch, I don't think Ryan will do that again. I would hope so, but you never know. Um, yeah, I was disappointed with that too. But look, man, it's going to be a talking point these next couple of days. So the question is, if Ryan made weight at 140, I mean, he was going to rehydrate regardless. I mean, Ryan was going to be bigger no matter what. Even if he made weight, he's going to rehydrate and be bigger than Devin Haney. I mean, that's a given. Um, would have made a difference? Possibly, possibly. Maybe just enough difference to where Devin, even though being knocked down, would be able to squeak out a decision. Maybe instead of three knockdowns, maybe just one, something like that. Like, I just still think that even if Ryan made weight, Ryan still would have came in hydrated, and still be big, strong, longer, and trying to hurt Devin regardless. And him being at 140 compared to 135 is a much comfortable position for Ryan anyway. So, anyways, guys, those are my quick thoughts as it's still fresh in my mind. Crazy fight, a lot of craziness in the ring with the referee breaking and clinching and points being deducted. And did Devin Haney get too much time to recover? That's going to be another talking point, so be prepared for that. A lot of wild shit going on, but it's kind of expected, especially at this level too. You know, two elite fighters going at it with all the animosity and all the buildup. The ref had a big job tonight. He had a big job tonight, and he had to make some really quick on the spot decisions. So I try not to be too harsh on him, but I feel like there's a couple times that he probably should have just let them fight. There's a couple times Ryan was turning his back that should have been talked about. That should have been a stern warning. Um, and then also I think that he gave Devin a little bit of extra time to recover as well. So it goes both ways. But I don't. I think the result is what it is. With or without the referee, I don't think the referee made a difference in the decision. Other than it could have been a knockout, but you just don't know. You don't know those things. But I don't think we focus on the ref on this one. I think it comes down to the fighters, the adjustments that were made or not made, and looking at the physical attributes. And I think that if you're a Devin Haney fan, which I am as well, we have to be honest with ourselves and really analyze what went wrong in this fight, because it's not because of an absence of skill. It's not because Ryan is a superior boxer, like a superior fighter. It's just that Ryan used his physical attributes more effectively and more efficiently than Devin did. Devin is an athletic fighter. He should have used his athleticism and his quickness and his pinpoint accuracy, but he didn't. He couldn't do it. And it's not that Ryan can outpoint, outpunch, and is more accurate or something like that than Devin, but he used his physical attributes better. That's what happened tonight, in my opinion. So that's my food for thought. Maybe I'll come on here in the next day or two, to speak a bit more openly about it. Maybe Open a panel up. It's been a while. It'll be fun. But those who dropped in, I appreciate you. If you haven't hit that like button, make sure you hit that like button. I'm about to head to the gym myself. And hey, at the end of the day, great fight. Like, can't complain, man. I think if you paid for this fight, you definitely got your money's worth. So as a boxing fan, despite who you were going for, it was a great night of boxing. It was. I was on the edge of my fucking seat the whole time, screaming like I couldn't believe what I was watching. And as a boxing fan, that's what you want. You want that excitement. You don't want some boring ass fight. You want something to be like, yeah, I'm glad I paid for that. So, all right, guys, I'm out. Y'all stay strong, stay positive. Peace.